and collective. This tale goes back to the winter of 1988, when I was studying medicine at a small polytechnic in the Fens. By the way, he means Cambridge.
Okay.
Help me. Cambridge humour. However, it's only recently that I've become aware of my need to seek forgiveness for this event, which I will now tell you about. Myself and several friends had decided to use our limited holiday allowance, not that limited, to go skiing. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
So it was that myself, Tom, Dick and Harry's boyfriend Loopy Lou found ourselves in a moderate hotel in Andorra. I guess that's quite a nice hotel in Andorra. On the bus up to the resort, we surveyed our fellow skiers. There's a group of girls from up north, a bunch of likely lads from the East End of London, and our drunken tour rep, Jez. We were not well off. I think you were.
Well.
And after a hard day skiing, we would spend our evenings in the hotel bar drinking the very average house red, which was probably very nice, and playing the board game Trivial Pursuits. So for those who don't remember this time, Trivial Pursuit was a popular general knowledge board game which involved throwing a dice to move around a board shaped like a cartwheel, answering questions on the 6 topics. Do you remember these?
Yes.
History, geography, art and literature, science and nature, sport and leisure, as well as the dreaded entertainment. Questions on the spokes of the wheel earned you a wedge, commonly known as cheeses. When you got 6 cheeses, you then went to the centre of the wheel, and the opponents were allowed to choose the topic for you to answer. If you got this question right, you won the game.
Yes, I remember,
okay.
Yeah.
However, as the week progressed, our enjoyment of the evening games was increasingly marred by the East End likely lads who took to spectating on our games. When we got a question wrong, they would tut loudly and make unwelcome comments. You're medical students, you don't know that. You go to Cambridge University, you can't answer that question. Blimey. After several nights of this unpleasant barracking, the inevitable happened and a challenge was issued for a match between the medics of Cambridge and the students of the University of Life, as they liked to style themselves. On the evening of the game, there was a bit of nervousness in our camp, and we eschewed the house wine at supper. The reputation of our esteemed institution was at stake. Of greater concern was the condition of one of our team. Harry had not skied that day. He had not looked at his best either and appeared tired and emotional. We were relying on him as he was by far our best player. The East London lot were sounding typically cocky. All right, you lot, ready to find out what real brains look like? General knowledge, you know, is not about fancy stuff you learn in a book.
Except it is.
Shut
Anyway.
it. Anyway. Drunken Jez had agreed to act as question master and appeared for once to be relatively sober. Word of the match had filtered out and the girls from up north had not headed out for the nightclubs as had been their practice, but looked on with real interest. Their presence seemed to have enticed a few local Andorran ski guides into the bar, and so it was that there was a moderate crowd around the table as the game began. The coin was tossed, we lost. The East End lot started. I got a couple of quick questions right, then picked up a history cheese before failing to know the capital of Indonesia. It was our turn. We set off and soon had a couple of cheeses. We needn't have worried because Harry seemed to be on sparkling form, even forcefully overruling my conviction that Achilles was Helen of Troy's lover. Anyway, this has not been discussed before. And so our run continued, and after about 20 minutes of faultless answers, we had 6 cheeses and headed to the centre. Who played movie sidekick to Hopalong Cassidy? Oh, yeah, sorry, I missed the line. Hang on. We headed for the centre. Of course, they chose entertainment for the topic for us.
Yeah.
So the question is this. Who played movie sidekick to Hopalong Cassidy, Gene Autry, Roy Rogers and John Wayne? That's a tough one. Silence. A typically impossible entertainment question. Then Harry pipes up, I think it was George Gabby Hayes. The right answer. We had won the game in a single turn. The East End lot looked stunned. The Northern girls looked modestly impressed, and the Andorran ski guides looked relieved that the game was over quickly and they could resume their attempts to entice the Northern girls out for the evening. We, meanwhile, were doing our best not to look smug, and failing, and adopted a dignified yet serious pose. Thank you for the game, lads. Good fun. I think we're going to go out for the rest of the evening. Maybe you should practice among yourselves next time. They didn't answer. We all subsequently qualified as doctors, went our separate ways, and I lost contact with my skiing companions. But for many years I've dined out on this triumph, using it to instill into my children and anyone else who would listen the value of a university education. I might have continued to do so had I not recently met up with one of our party. As we reminisced on our student days, I reminded him of our triumph. He was silent for a while and then said, "You do know that Harry cheated, don't you?" "What?" I said, "Excuse me?" "Yeah, he sat up all night and learnt every answer
Wow.
to every question of the Trivial Pursuit Genius Edition." And is that cheating?
Yes.
I don't think it is cheating.
It's looking at the
Definitely
answers.
cheating.
I mean, come on.
Anyway, Father Sound, I seek forgiveness on behalf of myself, my team members, and my alma mater for winning, not by using our superior general knowledge to see off the East End lot, but that other great medical student skill, the last-minute cram. So Dr. Kiss Kiss would like the forgiveness, please. I guess this all depends on whether you consider that cheating or not. I think Sister Katie thinks it is.
Yeah, that is absolutely cheating because you know what questions are going to come up and you've prepared exactly the answers to those. So not forgiven, Dr. Kiss Kiss. That's cheating.
That's
No.
a brief answer. She's worried about time.
Okay, keep it short, Matt.
Brother from another gutter.
Okay, we all remember those Trivial Pursuit boxes. They were huge, and they had 6 questions on each card. There's no way you're going to be able to remember. He was revising. He wasn't cheating. He was revising. Definitely not cheating.
Cheating.
Definitely. I mean, I had to be honest when I heard it was a medical student confession. Only second to military confessions in definitely not getting on. But yeah, no, I'm going to forgive.